Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. The end of the relationship between Jonathan Kuminga and coach Steve Kerr seems inevitable. Kuminga continues to get few minutes, or sometimes even out of the rotation. The player is extremely upset and has already stated that he wants to leave the Warriors and be happy somewhere else. The Brooklyn Nets are interested in the player, and a trade involving Cameron Johnson would be very good and would make the Lakers stronger. Last-minute announcement: Jonathan Kuminga no longer wants to play for the Warriors and his destination could be the Brooklyn Nets. Warriors predicted to cut ties with Jonathan Kuminga via sign-and trade to Nets. The Golden State Warriors have a pivotal first-round playoff against the Houston Rockets. Golden State will need its superstars to set the tone consistently and role players to perform adequately to make a surprising title run as the number 7 seed in the Western Conference. Jonathan Kuminga could be an X-factor for the franchise in the postseason, but his future with the Warriors could be in jeopardy if he continues to move backward with Golden State. Bleacher Report's Zach Buckley predicts the Warriors will part with Kuminga in the offseason via a sign-and trade to the Brooklyn Nets. The Golden State Warriors just played their most important game of the season, and chose to play it without a healthy Jonathan Kuminga, Buckley wrote Monday. It's hard to say for certain what exactly that means for his future with, or without, the franchise, but it certainly casts an ominous light on the former lottery pick's upcoming restricted free agency. Kuminga's absence from the rotation was notable enough that James Harden asked him about it on the bench, per Danny Immerman of the San Francisco Standard. Immerman went on to note that Kuminga and the Warriors didn't come close on contract talks this offseason, despite the fact Kuminga didn't demand a maximum level figure. If Warriors coach Steve Kerr doesn't trust Kuminga, the front office must think long and hard about the utility of keeping the athletic swingman around. Golden State would presumably prefer not to lose the asset outright, but a sign-and trade to the Nets that gives Kuminga a fresh start and the Warriors a better fit for their system seems like the best outcome for all. Kuminga played well in the Bay to start the year. Without Jimmy Butler affecting his role with the franchise and a devastating lower body setback, Kuminga regularly displayed his elite athleticism and off-the-dribble shot creation. However, after suffering a significant ankle sprain in early January and being forced to compete with Butler for minutes upon returning, Kuminga hasn't been as effective with the Warriors. Kuminga averaged 13.1 points per game in March and 10.8 points in April after scoring 15-plus points per game in December and the beginning of January, before injury. Although Draymond Green is adamant that the former lottery pick will contribute in the playoffs, there's a legitimate possibility that Kuminga won't positively impact games for Golden State on the hardwood. The 22-year-old pro was linked to the Nets before the February 6 trade deadline, so it makes sense for the NBA champion wing and struggling Eastern Conference franchise to be involved in off-season trade speculation. Brooklyn should monitor Kuminga's postseason play closely. Steve Kerr addresses reason to keep Jonathan Kuminga DNP in last 2 Warriors games. To be very frank, Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr drops verdict on whether fans will see Jonathan Kuminga in playoffs. For years, the Golden State Warriors have groomed Jonathan Kuminga to be the next big thing for the team once the current core of stars retires. Cites. Many expected Kuminga to take on a new role this season, but the Dubs have seemingly halted the experiment, at least for now. Sure, Jimmy Butler's arrival has led to Kuminga's dropped minutes, but the 22-year-old's inconsistent showing has hardly helped his case. Steve Kerr drops the hammer on Jonathan Kuminga's role. The last few weeks haven't been easy for Kuminga. After all, he has received multiple DNPs as head coach Steve Kerr has relied on other options. Ahead of the Warriors' first-round matchup against the Houston Rockets, Coach Kerr has revealed if he has any plans to include Kuminga in the rotation. I have to read what we need. I have to read who's playing well together. And to be very frank, the Jimmy/JK, Kuminga combination has not been great, and that's the tricky part here. And I'm playing Jimmy 40 minutes a night because he's one of the very best players in the league. And there's a reason we're here and we're in the 7th seed. And the reason is Jimmy, and so my job as a coach is to keep the team on a path that I think gives us the best chance to win. And for now, that's why I've been leaning into the lineups that I have. Well, Kerr's response suggests Warriors fans shouldn't expect Kuminga to be inserted into the lineup as long as the current rotation helps the team win games. What's next for Kuminga? At 22 years old, Kuminga may already be an NBA champion, but it feels like his Warriors career will be over sooner rather than later. Warriors veterans have tried to uplift Kuminga's mood during this transition. Even NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins urged Coach Kerr to put his pride aside and reinsert Kuminga in the lineup. At the end of the day, the decision is of Coach Kerr, and his recent comments suggest the young forward won't be receiving minutes anytime soon. Warriors could be legitimate postseason threat after play-in win. The Golden State Warriors' 121-116 play-in victory over the Memphis Grizzlies secured them the Western Conference's number 7 seed, but its significance runs deeper than a single win. The second half of the season has revealed a team evolving into something more formidable, a group capable of making a genuine postseason run. Now preparing to face the second-seeded Houston Rockets in the first round, Golden State arrives with a dangerous mix of championship pedigree, playoff-tested leadership, and renewed star power. This is not a team merely hoping to survive the playoffs. It could shake up the bracket. Steph Curry was at his best against Memphis, pouring in 37 points with trademark efficiency and poise under pressure. Jimmy Butler also delivered a breakout performance, tallying 38 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists and 3 steals in a statement postseason debut with the franchise. If Butler sustains that level of play, and recent history suggests he can, the Warriors boast a 1-2 punch capable of matching up with any team, including Houston. The Rockets are younger, deeper, and posted a stronger regular season record, but the playoffs are a different game. Golden State's core of Curry and Draymond Green has seen everything, from finals runs to elimination battles. That experience can't be taught and could prove decisive against a less battle-hardened opponent. The Warriors closed the regular season with disappointing losses to the San Antonio Spurs and Los Angeles Clippers, but they've surged since acquiring Butler at the trade deadline. Golden State went 20-7 post-deadline, a stretch bettered only by the Oklahoma City Thunder, 22-4, and Boston Celtics, 22-5. Over that span, the Warriors ranked 7th in offensive rating, 118.4, but perhaps more impressively, they led the entire league in defensive rating, 109.3, an underappreciated aspect of their identity. If they can maintain that defensive intensity, paired with Curry and Butler's offensive brilliance, Golden State has the tools to be a serious contender. Houston's backcourt, while explosive, has struggled at times with turnovers and inconsistent shooting. That's where the Warriors' playoff-hardened defense could tilt the series. Golden State thrives in transition and has the discipline to force young teams into costly mistakes. Green's ability to switch across positions and anchor a playoff-level defense remains vital to their postseason hopes. Curry can still shift a game or a series with a single quarter. With Butler stepping up as a postseason closer, Golden State enters the playoffs with renewed purpose. This isn't a team content with a play-in cameo. They're here to compete. There are legitimate concerns about depth. Only 2 Warriors outside of Curry and Butler scored double digits against Memphis, but the team's chemistry remains intact. Head coach Steve Kerr has guided this core through countless playoff battles and knows how to navigate a 7-game series. Facing Houston will be a test. But if the Warriors pass it, they'll become the team nobody in the West wants to face. Where is Jonathan Kuminga? Why Warriors forward has seen decrease in playing time for Golden State. Despite a roaring finish to the season, the Warriors found themselves in the play-in tournament for the second consecutive year. Golden State's final opportunity to clinch a top 6 spot in the playoffs came in its regular season finale, but the team could not outlast the LA Clippers in overtime. As a result, the Clippers earned the West's 5th seed, and the Warriors fell to 7th. They took advantage of their first play-in opportunity, holding off the Grizzlies Tuesday. It's no coincidence that Golden State's season resurgence came after the acquisition of Jimmy Butler III, who scored 38 points in the play-in victory. As an unintended consequence of Butler's heavy workload, Jonathan Kuminga did not see any action versus Memphis, receiving a DNP-CD in the box score for second consecutive game. The decision to not play Kuminga in another crucial spot was a curious one for many, as the 22-year-old is averaging 12.2 points per game since returning from a 30-game absence on March 13. Here's what Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said following Kuminga's first DNP. "Where is Jonathan Kuminga? Kuminga has seemingly fallen out of the Warriors' rotation. Temporarily, at least." After Kuminga did not receive any playing time in Golden State's high-stakes season finale, Kerr was asked about the decision to not give the former top 10 pick a look. "We've just found a group since Jimmy got here that we're pretty comfortable with," Kerr said, while also citing the fact that Gue Santos did not play. "Both Santos and Kuminga have been impactful players for us. It doesn't mean they're out of the loop going forward, this is just how this game played out." Kerr added that he wasn't sure if he'd be able to work Kuminga and Santos into the rotation and did not warn them that they would not play. After the game, Kuminga returned to the court to get shots up following the DNP. While Santos saw 6 minutes of action in the play-in tournament, Kuminga still could not crack the rotation. The Warriors are now gearing up for a first-round series with the Rockets, and it is unclear if Kuminga will be called upon or not. Jonathan Kuminga stats 2024-25. Kuminga's numbers are impressive this season, but he went down with a sprained ankle in early January and was out for over 2 months. Since returning, he's playing in under 21 minutes per game. It's worth noting that the Warriors acquired Butler while Kuminga was out. Pre-injury post-injury. Games 32-15. PPG 16.8 12.2. RPG 5.03.9. FG % 45.9% 52.7%. 3P % 34.5% 17.1%. FT % 63.9% 74.2%. Jonathan Kuminga contract. Kuminga will become a restricted free agent following this season. The recent discussion around his role has caused speculation around Kuminga's future in a Warriors uniform. Year salary: 2024 to 25 $7,636,307. 2025 restricted free agent.